Hello there and welcome back to Szpakowo. So it's April and let's think about what we have to do this month. First of all, I can see our wheat field needs some weeding. So let's take a look. What do we have in here? We have medium weeds that need a hoe. That's unfortunate because we don't have anything that's going to be able to remove those. So we're just going to have to let the weeds stay in there for now. It also needs some fertilizer because the nitrogen levels are very bad. So we'll have to take care of that at some point. But I think what we're going to start off with this month is planting rice in our rice field. So if we head over to field 162 here, I believe it's the correct month for rice. Let's take a look at the calendar. So long grain rice is what we want. Yep. This month is the month for planting long grain rice, so we're going to be able to take care of that and then fertilize that field. And what else do we have to do? We've got a fair amount of money now. I collected the money from that contract off camera last month, so we have 19,000 euros. So I think what we'll do is we'll go and plant the rice seeds. And then we might look at getting a roller so we can roll that rice field. So I think that might be a good idea. So first of all, let's drop off our spreader. Lower it down, drop it off. And we'll pick up our seeder. And what I've done in between episodes is I actually downloaded a couple of cheaper planters, so some narrow working width planters that didn't cost as much. Unfortunately for this year now, I'm not going to go over the wheat field with sunflowers. It's just not worth it at this point. So that will have to wait until either next year, or alternatively, we'll see if any sunflower contracts come up when it is harvest season, and hopefully we'll be able to get the 1,200 or so litres we need out of a contract. So let's head over to the rice field and let's get some rice seeds planted. Also, I noticed in between recording last episode and this one, from looking at my YouTube stats, that I just hit 50 subscribers. So my first milestone in my subscriber count. Thank you to whoever you are who's my 50th subscriber, and thank you to the other 49 of you as well. I know it's a minuscule number compared to some of the other content creators out there, but hoping to build that up over time. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It's nice to know that people are enjoying the content that I am making. Okay, so here we are at field number, what was it again? Number 162. So let's change the seed to long grain rice. We'll set up our steering assist. We'll put it down to 5.2 meters because I thought that's what the width is. We'll do 2 headlands. And let's get this field taken care of. Oops, I don't want to. No, I don't want to go that way. I want to go this way. And that's not working, is it? No. That is not working. Come on, Mr. Seeder. Do your job. Okay, I'm focused on the wrong thing. Telling it to do its job when I'm not talking to it. Talking to the front loader instead. Okay. Let's get this field planted. And what I might do afterwards, before I come back to you, I might jump over to the store and grab a roller. Get this field rolled as well. And then we will see what else we have for this month. Okay, so we are done planting seeds in our rice field. So I did a little bit of research in between episodes, and the way it works with long grain rice is slightly different to how it works with regular rice. With regular rice, you flood the field, then plant the seeds, and then you have to keep up the flooding every month. With long grain rice, you plant the field, then the month after you plant the field, you then flood the field. So it works slightly differently. I just checked the map, and that field doesn't need rolling, so that's good. So that leaves us with a few options of things to do to fill out the rest of the month. So we're going to probably grab our fertilizer and fertilize our wheat field and also the rice field, because they're both likely going to need to be fertilized. And then after that, we will take a look at what else we need to do. So let's park our seeder. Where do we park our seeder? I can't believe we've already run out of space to store our tools. As I mentioned in the last episode, I purposely didn't fill up the seeder with fertilizer because I just wanted to see if there's any difference in how the fertilizing works. So we have plenty of time and to do a little experiment. So let's pick up the spreader. We will ditch the lime and we'll grab the fertilizer. Is that going to be enough? Probably not, right? No. Yeah, we'll grab all of it. Make sure the working width is as it should be. And let's take a look at fertilizing both of our fields. Let's do this one first of all. We'll set up our working width, and then we will, let's see. Okay, so apparently, okay, I think I know what's happening. I didn't have the, what's happening here then? Oh, I can see what's happening. We don't have the automatic fertilizing rate switched on. So let's switch that on. And then let's make sure we have our crop sensor switched on, which it is. Okay, let's try again. There we go. Now we're fertilizing. I don't know why it's saying it's not detecting any values. Yeah, this doesn't really make any sense. So it only spread fertilizer on a small piece of the field. If we look at the nitrogen in the bottom corner, I'm not sure that makes any sense at all. Let's try this side. So it's spreading it here. It seems to be spreading it down this side, which is good. Okay, so that is good. Now we'll just do a quick pass of this piece. We'll make the width the smallest. So it's also spreading it there, which is good. And now let's go here. So it's spreading it here, which is good. But then, yeah, this piece here, it's not spreading it. It's using my fertilizer, but it's not spreading it. It's not detecting any values. Not quite sure what's happening there. I'll do this little piece here, just to make sure it's done. So let's take a look at that. Before we go and do the other field, let's get off of this field. And let's see if we can figure out why we didn't get any fertilizer spread on that piece of the field. So if we look at precision farming, click on this field. I'm not quite sure what's happening with this part of the field where it's just not spreading fertilizer. That doesn't really make any sense to me. Let's jump out and take a look at the expected yield. So it's spread a little bit. If we go up to this piece, then this piece is absolutely fine. This piece, not so good. But the rest of it is fine. Yeah, that really doesn't make any sense. Let's jump back in our tractor. And let's see. Make the working width wide again. And let's turn off the automatic application rate and increase it to 166. And then let's... Yeah, it's not spreading on this piece of the field, and I don't know why. Put it back on normal. And yeah, just not spreading on that piece of the field. So I'm not sure if that's a bug, if that's something I'm missing out on and doing wrong, but I don't know. If anyone's having a similar issue, do let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to know if you're also having issues with certain parts of the field, just not taking any fertilizer. For now though, let's go over to the other field and see how our spreader behaves over there. I guess we'll just have to deal with it as it is and see if the issue resolves itself. I'm really not sure what else to think. Let's take a look at this field and see if we get the same behavior. So we'll turn on the spreader. Okay, so this seems to be working in this field. So we'll continue doing this. It's not worth putting on a time lapse because this will be done in probably 1 or 2 passes. And then I think we'll head over to the store, top up on fertilizer, and then we can take a look at contracts to see what else we can busy ourselves with throughout the month. And then we'll see if it's worth skipping through to next month. Okay, so that is most of this field done. I'm just going to do a quick check in the corner here, just in case I have missed a piece. Okay, turns out I haven't missed a piece in the corner there, it just doesn't need to be fertilized as much. And then this piece here, no, it turns out I haven't missed any. Okay, that's good. So, let's go over to the store. I'll pick up some new fertilizer so we have it on hand for next year. We'll take a look in the discount store, and then we will see what we can do in terms of contracts. I remember checking the weather, and it's going to be raining up until like 3 or 4 o'clock, so that's really not ideal. But you know what to do when it rains? Retail therapy. Unfortunately, there's nothing therapeutic in the store that we are looking for. So we'll get another pallet of seeds, which are up here. We'll get the pallet here, so 1 pallet worth. And then let's take a look at contracts to see if we can do anything for our neighbours. There's a cultivating contract on farmland 119, so we could potentially do that. That'll get us a nice 4,000 euros. There's some fertilizing contracts on, yeah, we could do that. It'll be a nice 7,000, or almost 8,000. So 119 is only 2 fields away, but it's a different, oh no, it's cultivating, isn't it? Yeah, so we could grab our cultivator and our spreader and head over to 119 and 117. What are our other options? Hoeing is no. Liming there, 114. Spraying we can't do, we don't have the tools for. And then we have weeding. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll do this fertilizing contract. Oops. And then we'll do this cultivating contract. So I don't know why I picked up seeds. Why I bought seeds in the store. That's not what I wanted. I wanted fertilizer. Oh well. Too late now. I'll pick up another big bag of fertilizer. That'll put us on 1,300 litres. Will that be enough if we do it as economically as possible. That's the word I was looking for. It's a polite way of saying that we are grifting. We'll buy another big crate of it, and then it can just stay at the store. I'm sure we'll have to come back and get it in a little while. So we'll fill up with this. We'll stop by our farm, pick up the cultivator, and then we will head over to those fields, do the cultivating and the spreading, and then I will rejoin you once we are complete. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we are nearing completion of cultivation on this field, and it is still absolutely tipping it down with rain. So the weather forecast, just like in real life, is always accurate when it's raining, never so accurate when it is sunny. It's the way of the world, it's not a conspiracy. Okay, so let's grab our spreader here and switch off our engine, and let's take a look at the contracts. We'll collect these two contracts we've just completed. So 119, the cultivating, and the fertilizing. Now, has anything else come in since we have been doing that work? There's a couple of fields around, but I'm not too sure I want to do those. We could take care of the lime in this field for an extra 2,000, considering it's very close to our farm. Yeah, we'll do that for an extra 2,000. That will not take too long at all. And then what I think we'll do after that, just looking through the contracts, I think we'll skip through to May, and hopefully the weather will have improved somewhat, and we can look at what else we can do. We might end up just skipping through to June so we can do some harvesting contracts. We will see. Okay, so we're back at the farm. We're going to drop off our cultivator, and we're going to switch out the fertilizer in the spreader for lime, and then we will go and take care of that one field. Let's drop off our cultivator in here. And we'll pick up the lime. should be okay without filling up the lime. I think, yeah, we'll definitely be okay without filling up the lime. And we'll disconnect the spreader from the front and hook it up to the back. And then we will go and take care of that lime field. That won't take too long at all. And then we'll skip through to May. Now, I'm really hoping that in this episode we can maybe even skip through to June. And while there's not really any rules to skipping through, just wondering if we should try and do some contracts in May to continue to build up our bank balance. We do have a fairly healthy bank balance at the moment, but you never know what's going to come along that causes the bank balance to drastically decrease. Impulse buying is a real thing. We'll get this field done and I will join you once it has been completed. And that's it. We are completed with spreading lime in this field. So we'll go back to the farm and I will see you in May. Okay. So it is May and we have been awoken to the enthusiastic sound of a rooster roostering away at 6 AM. So what do we have to take care of this month? Well, let's first of all check our field over here. I think we don't need to pay any attention to this field. No, we don't. We still have this area here that for some reason wouldn't take any fertilizer. I'm not sure why that is. Let's check our rice field and see what's happening over there. If we look at this, where are we? Just here. So we're probably going to have to go and flood the rice field. Yeah, so we've got the first level of growth in here, so we'll go over there and get that flooded. And then let's take a look also at what contracts we have. So deadwood, don't want to do that. We can't do mowing. Rock removal, spraying. Yeah, there really isn't much at the moment we can do. So let's go over to that field. So you can see our rice has started to sprout, which is nice. And expected yield around 100%, which is also fantastic. Let's go here and let's water our field. So water level too low. Flood the field to avoid crop damage. Okay. So we are flooding the field. And this really is the first time I'm doing this, so they did do a little bit of research in between episodes, but yeah, not entirely sure how it works. Now, while this is flooding, I'm really not sure what else there is we can do. We really can't do any contracts, and yeah, there isn't anything really else we can do. No sowing contracts, which is interesting. Now, what do we have in terms of sunflowers? If we turn all of them off and turn sunflowers on, we have 4 sunflower fields. So hopefully this big field comes up, or one of these big fields comes up for sunflowers, and we can take care of that to fulfill our VIP contract. We will see when the time comes. Okay, how's this doing? So we're 24% full. Let's forward time a little bit and see what happens. Okay, so we have now stopped, which is interesting. Okay, so 53%. Looks like we are all good. Yeah, I think really we can probably skip through to June because there's not really anything else we can do here for the month. So I will do that and I'll see you in June. Okay, so it is June. So first thing, let's head over to our rice field, see what's going on over there. I'm paying special attention to this just because it's the first time that I am planting and tending to a rice field in FS in Farming Simulator. So yeah, it's saying we need to flood the field again, so let's get that flooded. And then I guess this will stop when it's ready. So we can probably leave that, we don't need to pay attention to it. Let's take a look at our contracts. What have we got come in for contracts? Again, nothing for contracts. That is kind of disappointing. Yeah, spraying, mowing, hoeing, deadwood, tedder and wood transport. Yeah, there really isn't anything that we can take care of. Well, let's speed up time and let this finish flooding. So it's there. Done flooding now. And I'm going to keep the time sped up until about 1 PM because I don't really want to keep skipping through the months. Really like to take it a little bit slower, but I really can't do that if there's nothing to do. Okay, so it's the afternoon. Let's take another look at contracts here. And I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to do anything, but let's see. Do I want to do these contracts? I don't think I do. We don't have too much in the way of expenses, so we don't need to maintain our bank balance. We have enough money. And yeah, there really isn't much to do, so I guess we're skipping through to July to see what happens there. Just make sure we're all good here. Yeah, we're all good in this field here. So I will see you in July. So it is July. Let's do the usual. We will take a look at contracts first this month, just for a change. And we mustn't forget to go over to our rice field and take care of it. We have a couple of fertilizing contracts. And I would imagine the harvesting contracts are going to start coming in later in the month, although it looks like this year everything was planted a little late. So not really sure what's going to come in exactly. So we'll head over to our field again. We will take care of our rice. So yep, flooding the field, and we'll let that do its thing. And how is our wheat doing? Our wheat's doing just fine over here. It's going to be ready to harvest next month, I believe. We take a look at our crop calendar. So yeah, our wheat's going to be ready next month and our rice will be ready in September. So let's skip a few hours to the afternoon and we will see what there is to do. Okay, so it is the second half of July and let's take a look in the discount store. Oh, there's nothing in there really, just a bale loader. Nothing that is useful for us. A very expensive harvester, which we are nowhere near being able to afford. So, our rice field flooded to its ideal level. And contracts. Do we have any contracts that have come in that we can take care of? Okay, so we have a couple of fertilizing contracts. We have 76 still, 53, and then 26. There's some harvesting here. Spinach, peas. Yeah, nothing really in here that we can take care of. So, looks like we are skipping through to August. Something I was thinking as the time was passing is that, as much as I do like the start from scratch thing, it does leave you a number of months where you don't really have anything to do. Because we're at the point now where we don't need to grind as much. We could grind to buy ourselves another field, but that's the thing. The good thing about starting with a decent balance is that you can buy a few fields so that there's always something to do. And I seem to remember that's what kept me occupied when I did my first Porcelain series, is starting off with 2 or 3 fields and always having something to do. Anyways, let's skip through one more time to August. Is it August or July? I actually don't remember. Okay, so we are now in August. Let's take a look at the map. So our wheat field is ready to harvest, so that gives us something to do this month, and then obviously we'll need to take care of our rice field. First of all, let's take a look at contracts just to see if anything has come in that we might be able to do. So I think we'll take this lime contract. That'll give us a nice 7,000. Yeah, I think that will do us. So we'll go take care of our rice field, and then we'll take care of the lime, which is just over here. So I think what we'll do, we'll actually drive over to our rice field because it's kind of on the way to where we need to do the lime. And then we'll come back and harvest our own field. So I will jump into the tractor, drop off the lime. No, we want the lime, don't we? Of course we want the lime. I know I said that our rice field is on the way, but we probably should stop by the vehicle store, pick up some more lime. So we'll go this way. Then we'll go to our field, take care of the rice, and then we'll go do the lime before we do the harvesting. So I will get some of this taken care of, and I will rejoin you once we've made a bit of progress. See you soon. Okay, so we are almost done harvesting our wheat field. We took care of the lime for our neighbour. We stopped by our rice field. It actually didn't need to be watered or flooded anymore. So it seems to be only the first 3 months of growing that needs to be flooded. And then we came back to our own field and we have harvested most of the wheat. So this is the second harvester load. We're just emptying into the trailer. Now I don't quite think we're going to get to the 11,000 that we need for the next level of VIP order. So what I'm intending on doing once we have finished harvesting our own field is checking to see if there are any other harvesting contracts that we can take care of for wheat specifically, because that will hopefully get us up to the 11,000 with the excess that comes with those harvesting contracts. So let's get this finished. We've got just the end of this row and then one more row to take care of, and then we can take a look to see what other harvesting contracts there are. Let's quickly empty this last little piece into the trailer and see exactly how much we have. I think we might have about 10,000 litres, so 1,000 litres short. The next level of VIP order is 11,000. So let's get this empty. Yeah, just under 11,000. So let's switch off our harvester. Let's go over to our silo and empty our trailer, and then we can look at what other contracts there might be. We have our wheat in the silo. So let's switch off the tractor. Let's take a look at contracts. What do we have in terms of harvesting? Really not much, is there? There's one sorghum contract. That's the only one we can do, because all of the others require specialist equipment. We have a little bit more liming as a possibility. Didn't we do field 57 already? No, it's 58 that we did. Okay, so we can collect that. So we have 57 there. Okay, what I'm gonna do is collect up the bales. So we'll just quickly park our trailer, and then we'll get this straw baled up and picked up off the field. And then if there's still no harvesting contracts, we will jump into the afternoon and see if there's anything to do there. Okay, so we have finished harvesting our field, we've collected up the bales, and we have a nice clear field ready for next season. So let's switch off our tractor. We'll grab our harvester from the fuel station. We sent it over here to get fueled up, and we'll get back to our field. And I wonder if any harvesting contracts have come up. Still no harvesting contracts for us to do, so what should we do to fill the time? We could do some cultivating. Where is this? So 32 and 44. We could do that. That would get us a nice 7,500. We have liming in 57. That would get us 5,600 and 52. Let's do lime in 57. That's 5,600. And then let's do these two cultivating contracts in these larger fields. So 32 and 44. Okay, that'll keep us busy for a few hours, and then hopefully we will find something else to do. So let's drop off our front loader over here, and we'll pick up the spreader. We'll refill it with lime. Has fertilizer in it right now, so we need to ditch the fertilizer, which we will do just over here. And then we'll grab our cultivator, which is hiding there behind the straw bales. And then we'll pick up the lime. And then we'll head over to the store, fill up with diesel, top up the lime, and then we'll head over to these fields and take care of the cultivating and liming for our neighbours. I'll see you over there. Okay, so we are done cultivating one field, and it turned out to be a little bigger than I thought. So I thought we'd take a quick break in the time lapse just so you know that I'm still alive and I'm still with you, and I'm not just having this done by an AI. So we have to lime that field just opposite over there. That's why I've left the spreader there. But what I think I'm going to do first is just zip up the road here and complete the other cultivating contract, and then we can take care of that lime contract on the way back. So the other cultivating contract is up on field 44, and I feel like it's a similar size field to the one we just did, 32, but it's not quite as big. So Shouldn't take quite as long. Then we can zip back, take a look at the liming contract and just knock that out really quickly, and then we can head back to our farm. Now, having said that, I don't think this field is as big. It's a similar size, so it's going to take a similar amount of time. But what we can do is, while this is happening, we can jump into the menu and let the autosave do its thing. And let's see if any other contracts have come up while we've been doing our thing. So it doesn't look like it. Same contracts are still there. So yeah, it doesn't look like we're getting any more contracts this month, unfortunately. So I will hand you back over to the music and time lapse, and I will see you again soon. Okay, so we've finished cultivating the second field. It just leaves the liming left to do in this one field up here, and I don't foresee this taking too long. It should be fairly easy to sweep up and down the field with the spreader, and then we can head back to our farm. Something I do want to investigate and look into is what can we do with the long grain rice, other than obviously we need to sell 4,000 litres I think for the VIP order, but what can we do with the rest of the long grain rice? Wondering what productions we have for it, because it might be worth building or might be worth working towards whatever production we can use with it. So let's get this field done. Make sure we're on the maximum working width and the minimum application rate, and let's line ourselves up and let's spread some lime. Like I said, I don't see this taking too long. It's probably going to be one pass up, one pass down, and then 1.5 passes in the middle. This looks like a fairly, not a wide field, but a little wider than the other fields we've done. So I'm not sure that we'll do it with one pass down the middle. We will see. But yes, very interested to know what we can do with rice. I know you can make rice cakes. What I don't remember is if rice flour is a built-in game feature, or whether that's something I've seen as an additional production in Mod Hub. We'll have to take a look at that. I've gotten down to the bottom of the field here, and I'm just looking. I think we might be able to get this done with one pass down the middle. Looking like that will be possible based on the spread that I'm seeing here. Yeah, we should be able to get that done with one pass down the middle, and not even the full working width, just looking at that. So that's nice and handy. Maybe we'll stop off at the fuel station because we've used half a tank of diesel just doing these 3 contracts, And maybe we'll also get the tractor repaired because it's starting to get down to around 80%. And we want to keep our equipment very well looked after. Sometimes the GPS steering, it works because it's judging by 27 meter working width, which is the maximum. Sometimes it's better just to take over manually if you don't have 27 meters of width left in the field. So yeah, that's what we did here. We go, we're finished, so we'll switch off the lime, we'll head back, grab our cultivator and head back to the farm via the store. Okay, so we are full of diesel, so 334 that cost us. Let's zip backwards to our remaining lime. We'll pick this up. And then we'll... Can we collect all of that? Yep, we collected all of that. And then we'll just zip backwards. I know we can take care of the maintenance on our farm, but let's take care of the maintenance in here. We'll switch off the tractor. Oh, hello there. Are you going to be working on my tractor? Yeah, you look capable. We'll trust you. Okay, how are we getting over to the other side here? There we go, we're just going to parkour over our tractor. Alright, let's see what needs doing. So, repair for 1,000, we'll do that. These probably don't need repairing, so we'll just leave those. Okay, so let's head back over to the farm. Actually, I think this might be a good place to end this episode because there's not really much left to do in August. There's no new contracts come in. We have 44,000 euros, which is a pretty healthy balance. I'm going to do the research on the production outside of the episode, and we will start the next episode with a decision on whether we're going to build one, and if we are, which one we are going to build. So yeah, I will end this episode here. Thank you so much for watching and following along. I do hope you are enjoying. If you are, of course, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I will hopefully see you in the next episode. Until then, bye for now.